Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 12 incredible watches again. Just another week really, a couple of watches, isn't it? This is what we seem to be able to do every week at the moment, and that's thanks to you guys and girls selling us your incredible watches, consigning them with us, and it wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you all very, very much. I really do appreciate it. We also have next week already as well, again with a huge variety, including a awesome Rolex GMT-Master Pepsi in white gold, a really beautiful example with the blue dial. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys and girls that one. But back to this week's drop. Variety as always, including two ladies pieces. It's often said we don't have enough ladies pieces. Now obviously any watch can be worn by anyone. That's the beauty of watches. It really doesn't matter whether it's gents, ladies, those sort of titles for watches are going away, and I think rightfully so. However, there are two much smaller watches which I don't think most men will wear. Could be wrong, but we're going to get onto those as well. Before we dive into what's on the table, let's start with what's on wrist. I'm actually wearing a piece that is coming to the website next week. It's a really beautiful watch that I just couldn't help but pick up. Beautiful 18 karat pink gold with a brand that is no longer with us. Very interesting dial, and as I say, 18 karat pink gold. Really beautiful example, awesome lugs, just a very great design, and quite large at 35mm as well, and it will be under £1,000. I mean, talk about value for money, that's incredible. So this will be coming next week. Beat the website, send us an email, and make it yours if you want to make it yours. Now that all the rambling is out of the way, let's crack on with what is on the table. Where to begin? I think we're going to start with the Rolexes. It's probably no surprise. We're going to start with this awesome GMT Master, a very, very nice, clean example, which I think is going to be a must for a lot of people who are looking for a GMT. So let's take a closer look at this one. So we are starting with a classic today, and what you're looking at is a Rolex GMT-Master, not a GMT-Master 2. This is the GMT-Master 1, reference 16700 from circa 1991. It is an X serial and it comes with its box. Now the condition here is everything. It is truly fantastic. Original tritium dial, original tritium handset, original bezel as well, which is just aged barely anything, to be honest. It's been kept in good condition. A really wonderful example. Lugs are nice and strong as well. It's probably seen a polish wheel a couple of times, but nothing major at all. Nice bracelet as well, with the single fold over as you'd expect. Nice plain case back. Just a really overall nice example. Bezel moves both ways as you'd expect. Screw down crown, and something to keep in mind with the GMT Master is, and not the GMT Master 2, inside this is the automatic Rolex caliber 3175. Now this has the GMT coupled to the hour hand, making it a 24-hour hand, as you can see. As we go to 12, it's around 12. So this is something to keep in mind. You can't set it independently. Going one way changes the date, going the other way does nothing. So that's just something to keep in mind with the GMT Master as opposed to the GMT Master 2, sorry. This is the GMT Master 1. As I say, nice example. We can have it polished, and this is something I've been speaking with a lot of customers about. We don't tend to polish watches ahead of coming to the website unless they are truly terrible and we just think it will benefit it, right? Because for the most part, pre-owned watches are going to have scratches, they are going to have wear. This watch is over 30 years old, so again, wear is to be expected in our opinion. And obviously, once we polish this watch, it's going to look really good again. However, we cannot undo that. So if you're someone who didn't want it polished, you actually want some wear, which, believe it or not, for those of you who don't like that, there are a lot of people who do like that. And they are specifically looking for something ready to wear, as they say, right? It's already got scratches in, they haven't got to worry about it, they haven't got to be the first person to put a scratch in it again, which some people really dislike. So we can always polish after the fact, however we cannot unpolish, obviously. So we leave them as they are and leave that decision down to you. So if any of our watches you see, if you do want them polished, let us know. We can get it done. It adds a bit of a time frame to the delivery and obviously a bit of cost as well, but I'm sure we can work it all out. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, paired comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. It's just one good looking watch, or at least in my opinion it is. 40mm by 46.5mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 20mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes to make strap changing. Super easy. It looks good on leather straps, NATOs, whatever you want to throw this on, it will look great. So go check this one out on the website today. And then on to another great watch. We had a Oyster Perpetual Date 15200 with the white Arabic dial, and this week we have the blue Arabic dial. So Really great to have both on the website. And again, this is going to make a great his or hers option, a couple's watch, or again, one or the other, right? I mean, you can do whatever you want, but let's take a close look at this one. Now on to a Rolex Oyster Perpetual date, reference 15200, a model and a reference I am personally very fond of, owning a 6694, and how that has basically developed over the year to become the Oyster Perpetual date. So this model has the automatic Rolex caliber 3135, a movement used across the board in many different watches. This one does come with box and a couple of booklets, and it's a P serial which dates it to circa 2000. So again, a potential birth year for some of you out there. I know I've got quite a few younger followers and buyers of watches as well, and people are often looking for birth year watches, and as I've always said on that subject, don't just find the year, right? If you are hunting just for a specific year, you're really limiting your options, and you will often just choose something because it happens to be the year, rather than focusing on condition or whether it's the watch you actually want. Oftentimes I've seen that. So what I'd say is just find the watches you really like, and if it happens to be a birth year, fantastic, that's a great result, but don't make it in my opinion, don't make it a factor to search for, unless you're going to accept that you may be waiting 5 to 10 years to find the perfect one that you want. That's something just to keep in mind. So this model, fantastic, really nice blue dial. You've got the Arabic in solid gold. These are white gold indices, and then you also have the Luminova in the odd numbers as well. Really great piece. Again, as we just touched on with the other Rolex, condition, it is worn, it has been loved, it has been used. It's what we expect at this age, so we can always have it polished. Just let us know if that's what you want to do. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. A lot of people think these 34 mils are too small. I completely disagree. I actually think they wear incredibly well, and I think if you're comfortable wearing a 36, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be comfortable wearing the 34. I don't think there is a huge difference. So come try it on if you're unsure, but to be honest, I don't think you're going to go wrong at all. I really enjoy wearing my 34 mil, and as I say, I have a 7-inch wrist. So 34 mil by 42.5 mil lug to lug, 11.5 mil thick, and 19 mil on the lugs. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to a very awesome two-tone Rolex Datejust. This is a 26 mil piece from 1995 with its box and paper, stickers still on the back, fantastic condition. This is a great pickup for any lady out there, or as a gift to any lady out there. This really will be amazing. So let's take a close look at this one. Next up, a beautiful ladies Datejust. This is a 26 mil Rolex Datejust in steel and gold, as you can see, with a yellow gold fluted bezel, yellow gold crown, yellow gold or champagne dial as they call it, date over at 3 o'clock, paired on a very nice Jubilee bracelet. As you can see, sticker's still on the back, and it actually has the reference embossed. It's quite difficult to capture, especially with the light in here, so I apologise if you cannot see it. Screw down crown, as you'd expect for any sort of modern Rolex really, and the reference is 69173. Now this one is a W serial, and the papers date to June 1995, and this does come with its box and paperwork, and as you can see, the condition is fantastic. Again, worn, it has been enjoyed, but it's not overly worn, it's not, you know, battered as we would say, so I think it's perfectly acceptable. But again, if you do want it polished, we can totally have that done for you, so just let us know. Obviously, I won't be showing this one on wrist, but just to go over the dimensions, 26 mil by 32.5 mil lug to lug, 10.5 mil thick, and 13 mil on the lugs. So endless options. Well, not endless options, but you can get straps out there. They're actually surprisingly common. So go check out this watch on the website today and pick yourself up a really great deal. Also, you'll have to forgive any background noise in this video. Clerkenwell Road, which is where we're based for those of you that don't know, is currently a complete construction site across the whole thing, all the way up to Farringdon, all the way down to Barbican. It is all being dug up, and they are making a lot of noise, so I do apologise. But let's go on to the next piece. We're going to have to jump over to this awesome Omega Speedmaster Apollo 17 45th anniversary. A lot of you will be familiar with this watch because it is a very popular piece with a sort of glossy ceramic blue dial, hints of gold. It is absolutely gorgeous. So let's take a closer look at this one. Next up, we have this amazing Omega Speedmaster in blue with gold throughout, as you can see on the dial and bezel. This is the Apollo 17 45th anniversary reference. Now, I won't bore you with the long reference to this one, because as always with Omega, they have super long references, but it was a limited edition to 1,972 pieces to commemorate, obviously, the 45th anniversary of 1972. This one's from March 2018. It does come with its full box and paperwork, and all of its links for its bracelet as well. Now, something to keep, or not keep in mind, but something to mention, the box does have a spelling error on it. Now, there was a batch of these boxes released with this spelling error. We've made a note of it in the description and on the additional photo, so you can go check that out. And they were recalled, and it was put across all the customers. If you have one of these boxes, please bring it in and we'll swap it for one with the correct spelling. Now, this customer decided not to. Does it really change anything? Not really, but it's just one of those cool little quirks where there's been a spelling error on the box by the brand and they didn't notice until people started pointing it out, which I think is kind of funny. So you've got the box with the spelling error, which I'm sure Omega still to this day would swap if you wanted them to, but I think it's a cool little story to keep. So that's just my personal take. Now, inside is a manually wound Omega caliber 1861. You can see a very beautifully done case back. One of the nicest from Omega, in my opinion. Really well done. And the bracelet is fantastic as well. This is not your standard Speedy bracelet because the clasp actually has a glide adjust, as you can see. So you can adjust on the fly to get a better fit. Now, I am a big fan of that. I wish every single watch had this because it would make it far easier on a hot day to move it or on a cold day to bring it in a little bit. There's not really much else to say on this watch, so let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I am a big fan. With this bracelet, it definitely makes it feel a lot heftier and heavier than a traditional Speedy, and it makes it feel a little bit bigger as well. That's just my personal opinion on that one. So 42mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, 14mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. So to swap out that bracelet, you could totally do so and put it on a nice strap. So go check out this one on the website today. From there, let's go over to Seamasters, and we have my favourite Seamaster, modern Seamaster anyway. This is the Omega Speed Seamaster, No Time to Die, James Bond edition in titanium. I think the colour scheme is absolutely perfect. I'm not usually a huge fan of titanium, but I do really like this one. I think it ticks a lot of boxes, and again, that vintage styling works really well. So let's take a closer look at this one. Next up, the Omega Seamaster, James Bond, No Time to Die, titanium military style Seamaster. There's a lot of names for this one. A really, really great piece. One I am personally a huge fan of, as I've said a few times. I think it's such a good looking watch. I really like the overall design. I think they've absolutely nailed it. And as I've said before, I am not a big fan of titanium. I prefer stainless steel or precious metals, but this one is very, very comfortable. And again, you get the lightness of titanium, but it's not so light it's scary, which I kind of like. You know, some watches, they're so light you really don't even know you're wearing them, whereas this one has a little bit of heft to it, and obviously the size helps with that as well at 42mm, but we'll get onto that in a moment. Won't bore you with the reference to this one. You can see it on the website. Inside is an automatic Omega Co-Axial caliber 8806. Now, this movement is used across the board in many watches, and something to keep in mind, in the titanium cases, if you shake it very violently, you can feel that rotor move and you can hear it. However, with normal general wear, it's not something you'll notice or hear, but it's something just to be mentioned because it can be a bit of a shock for the people who get the watch out and shake it to start it up. Please don't do that anyway. Unscrew the crown, wind it, you know, all the usual stuff. With the Seamasters, you have the helium escape valve over here at 11 o'clock. And it comes on this Milanese mesh style titanium bracelet with a folding clasp and a adjustment. You lift this up and slide it along to where you want it to be, and then just push it down once you line up the hole, which I'm trying to do through a camera screen. There you go, and then it clips down and off you go. It does come with its full box and paperwork. This one's dated April 2022, and it comes with the additional straps in the box as well, as you'd expect. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, paired comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. I really do feel like James Bond with this watch on. So 42mm by 49mm lug to lug, 13mm thick. Do keep in mind some of that thickness is with that heavily domed sapphire crystal, and 20mm on the lugs at endless options. Go check this one out on the website today. And then right next to it, the modern Omega Seamaster Co-Axial ceramic in green with the wave dial. Really, really great looking piece. I believe 42mm as well. Yep, the updated 42mm on the green rubber strap. I'm not usually a massive green fan either. However, the tone of green on this is fantastic. It looks black in some lights and then really vibrant green in others. I think they've really nailed it. So let's take a closer look at this one. And here we go, a surprising one for me. So as I said in the intro, I'm not usually a huge fan of green watches. And when this was released and all the photos, I was not particularly excited for it. You know, it's a nice green Seamaster, but I didn't really think anything more of it. However, now finally having it in hand and being able to put it on wrist, I have to say it has definitely swayed me. The green on this one is lovely because it's not insanely bright. It's actually quite a dark green, and in some lights, as I said, it can look black, and in other lights it becomes a bit brighter as well. I think it's just nicely done. Paired on the green rubber strap, I think is a nice touch as well. You have the wave dial, which looks really attractive on this particular dial as well, in this particular colour, sorry. And as you flip it over, you do have an exhibition case back, showcasing the automatic Omega Co-Axial caliber 8800. Now this one's from December 2022 with its box and paperwork. It has been worn, but it has been worn lightly and it's in pretty good condition. Something to keep in mind with these new ones, the clasps, the buckles, sorry, can be a little bit tight, so just so you know, it is normal. I've seen it on quite a few of them. For some reason, they're very tight. I assume it loosens up over time. I'd rather it be a bit tighter than absolutely loosey-goosey. That's just how I would prefer it. Personally, screw down crown, helium escape valve, all the bells and whistles you come to expect, and date down at 6 o'clock. Personally, a big fan of that. I think it helps with the symmetry of the dial, and it really complements the overall look. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on wrist. A lot of people worry the 42mm is going to be a bit too big for them, and I have to say it wears very well. I think they've done a similar thing, and I can't confirm this for definite, but a similar thing with Rolex, where the new 41mm Submariner surprisingly wears better than the 40mm Submariner. That's what I've noticed anyway. I would argue that this is a similar story. This actually feels a bit better on the wrist. Yes, it's bigger, but I think the way they've curved the lugs, maybe some other attributes, it just makes it feel a bit better on the wrist. So 42mm by 50mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick, and 20mm on the lugs. Right there as well. Fitted rubber strap. You can get a bracelet from Omega, but to be honest, I kind of like this look. It feels very summery. It feels like a great holiday watch, or just a general watch to wear day to day. So go check it out on the website today. And the final Omega on the table, this is the Railmaster Co-Axial with a very, very awesome, slightly textured dial, which just looks absolutely wonderful. Again, vintage styling with the faux patina. It won't be for everyone, but I'm a big fan. I think they've done it very well. So let's take a closer look at this one. So Railmaster time, and this is a very, very cool watch. That dial is near impossible to capture on photos and to really translate how that texture looks. It looks like a piece of slate, and I think it's just really, really nicely done, especially with the faux patina used. Again, faux patina isn't for everyone, and what faux patina is where they age the loom to look like vintage loom. So it's a more browny, darker tritium color, and I think this is done very, very nicely, especially with the Railmaster done in the same color. I think it's very attractive, especially also with the fact the entirety of the watch and bracelet is all brushed. It makes it very tool-like, very utilitarian, and I'm a big, big fan of that. Again, won't bore you with the reference to this one. You can go see it on the website. Screw down crown at 3 o'clock, paired on a nice bracelet with a deployment, which opens up like so and clips down with Omega. Proudly stated there. You lift that side open. Nice case back as well. Just overall very, very nicely done. Now this is surprisingly stainless steel, and I say surprisingly because the color of the metal and the way it looks like titanium, but it isn't titanium. So you haven't got that lightness of titanium, but you have the look of titanium, and I think it's just really, really cool. I actually am a big fan. Inside is the same movement that we saw in the No Time to Die, the automatic Omega Co-Axial caliber 8806. So again, same thing. If you shake it very violently or move very quick, you may feel that rotor spin and you may hear it, but in general, just with normal wear, you're not going to hear it or feel it, to be honest. This one's from January 2020 with its box and paperwork and spare links as well. So they show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. Now, the Railmaster is often a very underrated model among the Omega lineup and often forgotten about as well, I feel. So they're great value for money in the market at the moment. 40mm by 47mm lug to lug, 13mm thick, and 20mm lugs. Endless options for swapping this one out. So go check it over on the website today. From there, we're going to have to go over to the crazy on the table, and that is obviously the MB&F Mad 1 in red. A very, very funky piece, a very cool piece, and one that has been trading insanely well. However, we are the best priced out there, and that's what we aim to be. A lot of people are asking £7,000-8,000 for them. That's ridiculous. This one is priced to go, so let's take a closer look at this. Now on to an absolutely mad watch, and this is the Mad 1 by MB&F, Max Buser and friends. Now as we spin it around, you can see why it is called the Mad 1. Look at that go. So this is a very, very fun watch. It won't be for everyone. It's very quirky, and it's taken the watch world by storm. They did a red one, which obviously you're seeing right here, and they did a blue as well. So from top down, you can't actually see the time. You just see this crazy blade spinning around. You see parts of the movement and this beautiful red ring as well. Now as we flip it here, you can see the time. So as we pull out the crown, we can demonstrate exactly how this works. So as we progress, you'll see it is now 10:15, and now 10 o'clock. It is now 10 past 10, 20 past 10, 20 to 11, and so on and so on. Hopefully that makes complete sense. So that is how you tell the time. You look from this position to see what the time is. So partly inspired by driving watches, I believe there's a big story behind it. This is one definitely to research, maybe watch an interview with Max Buser as he explains his idea behind this. And there's a lottery system to get access to it because they make so few, and oftentimes people aren't the ones who get it, as you can imagine. Now, it's called the Mad 1 Red. Inside is a Miyota 821A, massively modified, as you can see, so it's not just a standard Miyota. And this one's from 2023 with its full box and paperwork, and it is unworn, so you do get the opportunity to be the first one to wear it. So yeah, go check it out. Oh, no, sorry. I need to show it on wrist, and I'm forgetting my own thing. Oh, look at that spin. So 42mm by 50.5mm lug to lug, 17.5mm thick, and 24mm on the lugs. This is not a small watch. It's very MB&F in the way it's just absolutely crazy, but it's crazy at a more affordable price point because often MB&Fs are very, very expensive. So go check out this one on the website today. From there over to an Autodromo Group B chronograph, manually wound for Hodinkee, a limited edition. Very great piece. They only made 100 in this colorway, and I think it's fantastic. So let's take a closer look at this one. Next up, we have the Autodromo Group B Rally Sport chronograph for Hodinkee, a limited edition they did in a couple of colorways, and this one is this really awesome black blue with the sort of yellowy orange highlights. It's very, very nice. BP005K is the reference, and limited to 100 pieces total. This is number 69. And yeah, just a really, really well done piece. For any of you who know Autodromo, massively inspired by the world of cars, and they've incorporated that beautifully into their watches, and this is no exception. One thing I really like about this one is it's a manually wound Sellita SW510, which just feels nice. You know, you get a slightly thinner profile, and I am a big fan of a manually wound chronograph personally. This one's from 2023 with its box and paperwork and all of its spare links. You have this very awesome integrated style. It's not completely integrated, but integrated style bracelet that tapers massively to a deployment clasp. Very simple case back stating Hodinkee, and this is one thing I have a lot of respect for with Hodinkee when they do limited editions. They don't feel the need to whack their name straight across the dial and do anything too crazy. This is just refined, done beautifully, and just nice to look at. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And another area where this watch completely shines, this is beautiful on the wrist. 40mm by 50.5mm lug to lug. Now do keep in mind that is from this very end point to this very end point, and they do curve considerably. So that might sound like a long lug to lug, but it surprisingly curves very, very well. So what you're looking at is 12.5mm thick and 21mm on the lug, so go check out this one on the website today. Now on to a Tag Heuer Carrera Caliber 6 with the sub-seconds, a model and a reference I think is massively underrated for those of you that want a modern Tag Heuer, but vintage styling and sort of charm. This has it all with the hints of blue as well. It really is a good looking watch and sized very, very well as well. So let's take a closer look. Next up, Tag Heuer Carrera time with the Caliber 6 automatic sub-seconds with the beautiful pops of blue and highlights of red. When it comes to just a good looking watch, this is definitely one of them. I think Tag Heuer really nailed the design on this one. Date over there at 6 o'clock again, helping with the symmetry of the dial. It's just really clean, really, really nice, and I think massively, massively underrated. Often because it says Tag, well, this one doesn't say Tag Heuer, it says Heuer, but the Tag Heuer name, for some reason, or not for some reason, but because of their past, they have got a bit of a stigma still among watch collectors and the watch community. I think it's completely pointless now. I think they offer very, very good watches for the money, and in the pre-owned world, they are amazing. So I'm not of that camp personally, and I do like Tag Heuers, and this is one I'm very, very fond of. Quite a long reference, you can go see it on the website. As I said, automatic Tag Heuer Caliber 6, which is a sub-second automatic watch movement. Heuer proudly stated in red. Very simple case back, enough room to do some engravings, which I have seen some people do. One of the ones we've sold in the past, someone had, and we can help with that as well, but had it engraved with, I believe, their child's date of birth, so we can do something along those lines for you. Beautiful Heuer clasp, nice and big, taking up the whole clasp, which I really like. Very easy to adjust. You just sort of open this up like so, slide it back and forth to where you want it to be, and then just bend it back down, and off you go, ready to go. So changing is nice and easy. Signed Heuer crown as well. They've kept the branding all the same across the board, and again, just nicely done. This one's from January 2018 with its box and paperwork, so they show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, very, very well proportioned at 38.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 11.5mm thick and 19mm on the lugs. So yeah, a little bit awkward, but there are options out there. But this rally style strap in a very dark black, almost blue, I think works perfectly. So go check it out on the website today. Another one for the ladies out there. This is the Cartier Tank Francais, quartz in 20mm, a perfect watch for any lady out there. This was actually my wife's watch. However, we've just recently moved into a house. We've got a lot of work to do, and also she's just wearing a Christopher Ward every single day at the moment. So she decided she's going to let this one go, and the money's going to go towards the garden, I believe. So win-win for me and a win for you to pick up your missus or yourself a perfect watch. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to a ladies Cartier Tank Francais in 20mm and quartz, reference 2384. Arguably the most quintessential ladies watch. I think a lot of ladies would probably agree with that. It is a classic. You have the classic Cartier Tank on the bracelet, instantly recognizable and iconic. This flat style 3-piece bracelet with brush down the center, polish down the sides, and a hidden deployment as we open it up, like so. Simple case back, again room for engraving. I've seen quite a few of these engraved over the years, and a basic Swiss quartz movement, so nice and easy to have batteries change and everything done. Cartier you can't date exactly, there's not a database to do so, but this one's circa 2000s, I'd probably say early 2000s. It does have its original cabochon crown, which has a nice blue stone in there. It's a synthetic sapphire that they use now. They used to, very long time ago, use real sapphire, but not so much anymore. This watch has been polished in the past, but not overly polished, and we can have it polished to look like new again for you if you like. Do keep in mind it's a bit hot today, so I apologize if there's fingerprints on stuff. I'm doing my best to sort of keep it clean. But yeah, it's in worn condition, but not overly worn at all. A couple of marks here and there, perfectly acceptable. 20mm by 25mm lug to lug, only 6mm thick, super thin, and 15mm at the lugs. It's not super easy just to change out the strap. There is a screw bar system, and it sort of comes apart in pieces, and you have to sort of build it back together. So I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you know what you're doing. But either way, on the bracelet, it looks fantastic. So yeah, go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, another bonkers watch. This is a 7 Friday jump hour digital display, whatever you want to call it. A very, very funky piece. M201 as it's called. So let's take a closer look at this one. So another 7 Friday, and those of you who know me know I enjoy a quirky, fun watch, and this is definitely one of those. I picked this up just because I really like the design and I like jump hours. And this is a digital display jump hour style. In a crazy case, crazy format, not my usual thing, but I just like it. So this is a reference M201, inside is a Miyota caliber 8215, and this one's from circa 2010s, no box or papers, which is often common on these 7 Fridays. 7 Friday signed crown, you have a black case with like a rubber bezel and a couple of bits and bobs. It has got worn, it has got marks, but to be honest, a watch like this, in my opinion, looks kind of cool with the wear. I really do enjoy it. Now let me show you how the timing works. It's quite simple. You have a blue line going through and that will show you what time it is. So as we go the right way, you can see that's 1:30. That is now 2 o'clock. That is now 2:30. And that is now 3 o'clock. Hopefully this all makes sense, quite self-explanatory, but that is how the time works. So as you wear it, you can see the time as normal. It does come on its original strap, 7 Friday strap with a massive buckle. But yeah, it's a fun, quirky piece. Not for everyone, but that's what I enjoy getting in stock. And again, the price of this one is fantastic. So if you are after something really fun, kind of like that MB&F, but don't want to break the bank, and not that the MB&F will break the bank for everyone, it's still relatively affordable in that bonkers world. This is like insanely affordable in the bonkers world for sure. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, a nice small watch at 48mm by 47mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick and 28mm on the lug. So this is a huge watch, but because it is 48 this way by 47 this way, it wears wide but wears short on the wrist, which actually makes it surprisingly wearable, and it's surprisingly comfortable as well. So go check this one out on the website today and pick yourself up a fun watch at not a crazy price. So there you have it, guys and girls. 12 incredible watches on the table, really something for everyone. I think, as always, that is what we're trying to achieve here at Kibble Watches. Where else are you going to see this kind of variety on a single drop? I don't know of many other places that are achieving this, and I'm super proud of that. And as I said at the start, that is thanks to you guys and girls, so I can't thank you enough for making this dream become true. And as I just said earlier when we were introducing one of the watches, we recently just moved into a house. When you're watching this, it would have been the weekend just gone. Absolutely exhausting weekend, and it's currently Tuesday I'm recording this, so still exhausted, still living out of cardboard boxes. But yeah, none of this would be possible without you guys and girls, so thank you very, very much. I truly appreciate it. And as always, I look forward to seeing you again next week with even more incredible watches. So thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you then.